Hi everyone, so I'll be doing my presentation on anime. So I'll start. As a famous American director and screenwriter, Quentin Tarantino once said, I want to have the fun of doing anime, and I love anime, but I can't do storyboards because I can't really draw, and that's what they live and die on. So what is anime? So do you guys remember when you guys were in middle school, you guys would see little kids running, well, pretty much your peers at that time, running to be the first in whatever it was, and they would run with their hands parallel to the ground, and that run was dubbed not the Naruto run. Well, pretty much that run was adapted based on the anime Naruto. But most of us didn't really know, or we pretended not to know because of the negative stereotype that anime had at that time, and it wasn't really that popular. So we would have people being like, "Ooh, you watch anime? Ooh, otaku, weeb," kind of situation. But now it has become a major form of entertainment, not only in Japanese culture, but also here in the Western culture and entertainment focus, where it has become more popular to the point where it has been called a living cultural encyclopedia. In a Washington State University Insider article published on December 21st, 2018, it states, anime is especially useful in teaching and learning about Japanese culture because it creatively interprets many different aspects of life in Japan, locations, institutions, historical and cultural references, social practices, and small things like gestures. Myself growing up, my main thing that I consumed was anime, from Sailor Moon, as you can see right here. I don't know if you can see her, Sailor Moon, to Dragon Ball Z, where I was pretending to do the ame ame ah at the age of like 6 years old. That was what I loved. And now as an adult, as you can see right here, it goes way down. I collect a lot of mangas and like anime characters such as Attack on Titans, Demon Slayer, Tokyo Ghoul, and all those animes. So for today's speech, I hopefully will be informing you on how anime originated and how anime has expanded and become more of a popularized form of entertainment, and how it has influenced our Western culture and entertainment. So for my speech, I will be going over how anime originated, what anime is today, such as like how it has been popularized, and then how it has influenced Western influence, such as with influencers and entertainment and that sort of thing. Okay, so we will first start with anime and how it originated. So anime, it was first named Japanese animation, and then it got shortened into anime. It first appeared in February 1917, and the first anime was called Dekobo Shingacho Meian no Shinpai by Oten Shimokawa, and then later on, Oten Shimokawa, Junichi Kouchi, and painter Seitaro Katayama were hired for film, becoming the fathers of anime. Anime didn't really bloom during that time, since these fathers decided to expand from their original hiring. They expanded, but due to like the cost of anime and all that stuff and the production, it didn't really bloom until the 1930s and during World War II, where animators were mainly focusing on creating propaganda animation, and that's pretty much how they bloomed at that time. In an article by Right Stuff Anime, and there's no publishing date for this, but you can find it on the website if you just look it up. It states, propaganda proved particularly lucrative during World War II, and filming studios grew larger with the additional fundings. The first full film was Momotaro Umi no Shinpei, released in 1945. Anime from the early 1900s to now has changed from its runtimes to how anime, like the actual storyboards are created as in the early time during the 1917s to the 1930s. During that time, these forms of animation were created through like chalk, so it wasn't really a permanent kind of situation in comparison to now we have the digital art and all that fun stuff that makes things pretty much more permanent. And also how animation was created, because during that time they didn't have those advances to make what are like beautiful animations such as Demon Slayer with that high quality series that it would be more of a movie production, but has been focused now in a full serialized kind of show. Which now leads us to present day anime and how anime has been popularized and its influence pretty much overall. So now anime is pretty much mainstream, where everyone knows what anime is. You can go on TikTok, Instagram. There is going to be some form of imaging of anime. Even tattooers. We have tattooers that focus mainly on anime kind of situations. Like I myself, my calf is, it's pretty much completely covered in anime tattoos, which was a choice, and it's like something that has been overpopularized through like the rise of its popularity. Another example of this huge popularization and consumption of anime is many people are starting to buy mangas and collecting them. As myself, I have more or less like about 200 volumes on this little shelf right here, not including any figurines, which is another thing that many people like to collect since it's very popular, like I stated prior. One example of this is a TikTok user called BL Lover, who has about 3,000 volumes of manga, which is it's the main source of, like, you get the book and then you transfer it and create the anime. And she has about 3,000 volumes and continue counting. Another example would be like small businesses like Etsy shops, who open up their shops and create stickers and create all of this, and their main focus is anime, which is pretty interesting. In an article by Crunchyroll published on August 3rd, 2021, it states, now we are pleased to announce that we have passed 5 million paid users around the world and 120 million registered users compared to Netflix that has about 221.8 million users, which is pretty amazing compared to how Netflix is like, everyone uses it, and then there's anime, which people are still kind of iffy, but it's still very popular, which has now reached like celebrities and musicians, and even has influenced filmmaking, which leads us to the influence of how anime has influenced Western culture and entertainment. So I will be giving you 3 examples of how it has influenced, and that will conclude my speech. So the first example would be the song Yonaguni by Bad Bunny, where he states, Te canto mariachi y me convierto en Itachi, which translates to, I'll sing you mariachi and I'll convert myself into Itachi, which is a reference to Naruto's Itachi Uchiha, which after that whole introduction of Itachi, the anime, and especially that anime Naruto, expanded because many people heard Itachi and wanted to know why Itachi was even brought up into Bad Bunny's music, which was pretty interesting because I never saw any I've never seen anyone pretty much popularize Naruto, since it's like pretty long of an anime compared to like present day animes, which are about 30 episodes at most. Another example is The Matrix, that believe it or not was influenced by anime. In an article of Game Rant published on April 9, 2021, the article states, in addition to being lauded as one of the greatest action movies ever made, The Matrix was praised as a groundbreaking work of science fiction. A lot of its themes and concepts had already been explored in Mamoru Oshii's Ghost in the Shell. That's another example of anime. And finally, we cannot forget Kim Kardashian, who wore a pink wig and posted on Instagram and pretty much posted Darling in the Franxx, which also boomed and brought anime more into a more popular form of entertainment. So all these examples show how a negative view of anime has now changed to more of a mainstream. It has brought more popularity overall and has become more of a present figure in our Western culture now. And it continues to grow and open up also the culture of Japanese culture, which is something very very, very awesome, because it's something very awesome. So in my speech, I covered how anime originated, what anime is now, and how anime has influenced the Western culture and entertainment. And I hope that through this speech you were able to learn at least how anime started, since many